Nihilism, I would make a simple reductive argument. In the same way that there's no evidence of God, there's no evidence of inherent meaning to existence. Do with that what you will. Now, I mean, you can take that you can take that to I'm a nihilist. There's no meaning in the world, so I'm depressed and I'm sad and I'm gonna be like really surly and stuff. Or you could just be like, I think most reasonable people who come to that realization, which is like, well, I still have meaning in my life. I can still experience the emotion that is meaning, which really it is an emotion. I have a sense of this having some sort of grander meaning. I choose what I value. I can create, these feelings within myself, or they exist there, regardless of whether I create them or not. So I'll just, let that be my guiding star. And I feel like everyone does that, whether they believe in objective meaning or not. Like, if someone does believe there's like an objective meaning, like, what is it? And, if there is one, what if it's horrible? Like, what if you find out the objective meaning of life is like a horrible thing, and like the meaning of life is to suffer and be miserable? It's like, all right, well, you gonna go with that? Are you gonna question it? So, I don't know. I feel like people who that to me, nihilism is just the absence of meaning. I understand that like most words, different people have different conceptions of what it means. But when I say nihilism, I mean the rejection of inherent meaning to the universe. Right, because it's also, I mean, all meaning is subjective. So yeah, I can't begrudge anyone whatever they think means something to them. I mean, sometimes I can, if my meaning clashes with their meaning, then we might have some arguments and stuff about worldviews. And, you can break out all the fancy college words about consequentialism or this and that. But at the end of the day, it does kind of all boil down to like subjective interests. I think that, like, ultimately, if I say I'm a leftist, what I'm saying is that I believe that society should be as just and equitable and free from hierarchy as possible. That's what I mean by it. But that those are ultimately subjective things. Like, if you believe that the world should be, divided among the supposed strong and the supposed weak, and that certain men have a right to, endless wealth to rival the GDP of nations, then that's also a subjective belief. It's one that I'm going to fight because I don't understand how anyone would want a world like that. But, if that's where you're at, that's where you're at. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it just boils down to the same thing. Like, if there's an objective moral, I mean, what is it? Because no matter what you're talking about, any human activity, no matter how reprehensible, has been normalized under some social condition at some point in time. I mean, like, this country was founded by slave owners, for fuck's sake. Um, if you're going to say that slavery is wrong, I'm going to agree with you. If you're going to say that it's objectively wrong by some sort of external cosmic standard, that just doesn't exist. Now, you can look at the issue through different ethical frameworks. Here's what it looks like through a consequential framework. Here's what it looks like through a utilitarian framework. Here's what it looks like through this framework or that framework. But ultimately, it's just subjective. And I know it's uncomfortable for people because they want this, like, oh God, no, it has to be objectively wrong. Like, enslaving human beings, that offends me on such a deep core level that there has to be some thing outside of myself that can validate that, right? But it's not there. I mean, I wish it was, maybe, but it's not.